Okay, so we'll try out the Sutliff Cream Brulee and Chocolate Mousse mixture that Pappy sent me. So that holds out. Hold on. Oh, my Ozark. Okay, that was my charring light. Let's see if the main light works any better so I can actually start this video. That would be nice. Thank you for bearing with me. Anyway, today I want to make this a book report. This is my second video in like about a week's time, so where's Gary and what have you done with him? Beg pardon? Please excuse me. All right, the book I just been going through a Victoriana phase, and my latest read in that particular arena was Stephen Baxter's The Time Ships. And what this is about, it was published to celebrate the centenary of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. And it's also meant to be an official sequel to that approved by the Wells estate. Beg pardon again. And it picks up where the original book leaves off, where the time traveler comes. It tells it from his point of view, because from the original book, I think I remember the narrator basically, the time traveler has gone and he's taken some stuff with him into the future that he's just come from. Not having any luck with this. All right. So basically, what happens is that he goes back into this is told from his point of view. He gathers up some things that he thinks he's going to need in the future, some tools and stuff like that, and then he takes off. And except the future he's going back to is not the same one that he left. In fact, he ends up way before the year that he was supposed to stop at. He finds out that there's a Dyson sphere around the sun. It's a gigantic dome that's been erected around the sun to mine its power. Power civilization, and he finds a whole bunch of Morlocks living there, scientifically minded Morlocks, and he basically makes friends, is observed by, and then becomes friends with, see if I pronounce his name correctly, Nebogipfel, and basically the time traveler tricks his way out of there and takes off into the time stream, but not before Nebogipfel hitches a ride with him. So this book takes you from that alternate future all the way back to a visit with a younger time traveler, which the older time traveler can't remember. Tanks come from the future, 1944, to pick him up. Then they can time travel. They take him back to 1938, where a new world war is happening involving time travel. From there, we go way back to the Precambrian era, just after the dinosaurs died out, I believe. And he's followed back by a bunch of those Ministry of War types. They get stranded there. They form a colony there. Nebogipfel creates another time car, gets them out of there. So now we've got another alternate future where humanity had a head start, and they end up in a future where man and machine has combined into one being, and from there, time ships are built, and he goes back to the, and they get taken right back to the very creation of the universe, like right at the beginning, where time and space are indistinguishable from one another, and then, but that's not where it ends. I'll just leave you to read it if you want to find out how it ends. It's a very involving read. This is my second time reading it. I read it back in the 90s when it first came out, and I got this wonderful version from Waterstone's bookstore in the United Kingdom, and the infinity symbol right there is very apt for how the book turns out. Basically, when I read that book back in the 90s, it was my first introduction to the many worlds theory. Where you can have multiple timelines. So you can't have any paradoxes if you have multiple timelines. You know, go back in time, kill your own grandfather, which means you were never born, so you couldn't go back in time to kill your grandfather. That kind of thing. That stuff doesn't happen here because the minute you make a change, a new timeline results, and now you're part of that timeline. They called it the multiplicity. But anyway, it's a really, really great novel. I had fun reading it. 600 pages. It took me about, I don't know, I'm not a very fast reader. I think it took me about 2 weeks tops reading that, but I do enjoy the Victorian description and everything like that. It takes you from one end of human history to the other. So yeah, if you want an imaginative journey through time and space and what it means to be human and the ephemerality of human endeavors and our enduring spirit, please read that book, The Time Ships by Stephen Baxter. So what's been going on? Not a whole ton. Just got rid of our walker thing. We're trying to clean up the living room bit. We're getting rid of a coffee table. No one wants to buy it. We had it at 50, then I brought it down to 25. There's no bite, so I might end up just having to give the thing away. We just don't need it anymore, so we need the space. We're about to put away the air conditioner because summer's over. I fly out tomorrow on a trip to Cincinnati. It's fly out there, that's it for the day. Next, on Monday, I fly back to Boston, wait for 3 hours, and then a turn to Raleigh-Durham. But I already have that last turn put on the drop board, so hopefully someone will pick that up for me. And if they don't, by Monday, I'll just go down to in-flight and shop it out. And if you feel like doing a Raleigh-Durham turn this afternoon so I can go home right now, that kind of thing. Try to sell it up a little more convincingly than that. But yeah, that's all that's happening. Hope you're doing well. I thought I had a couple shout outs to do, but as they come to me, Terry the beekeeping piper lives up in Scotland. I think it sounds like he comes from Lancashire, but he's always a pleasure to watch. Mentioned that he watched the Sandman series, which I've seen the Sandman series, and it's based on a comic, a Vertigo comic from DC Comics. I liked it at first when it first started out, but then it got a little too gothic pretentious for me, so I just drifted away from it. But as the season 1 of this TV series covers the two first graphic novels, the first two seasons of the show, there's some changes, but the heart of it still remains the same. It kind of meanders like a dream does, just like the comics did. So, no, it's really interesting stuff. If you like urban fantasy, I recommend you check it out. Dream basically is in charge of human dreams, and he gets captured back in the turn of the last century, and he's held captive there for like 45 years before he gets out. In the meantime, human beings can't dream. And he's got brothers and sisters. He's got death. He's got desire. He's got destiny, delirium, etc., so on. And they all make appearances during this whole thing. It's really cool. Check it out. That's it. I really can't think of anything else to say. I'm sure once I stop this, they'll all come crashing back. But I just wanted to say hello to all of you at the YTPC. I do consider you a very warm, if loosely affiliated family. It's good to spend time with you. All the best, and take care.